Hello and welcome to the Valley. Today I am your host, Janet Michael. It is the yearly show that we do every January. The last couple of years we've done it sitting at Hanley Library in downtown Winchester. Andy Gale is sitting here next to me. He is the CEO at United Way, Northern Shenandoah Valley, but that's not really why you're my co-host today, because you are on the board for the Top of Virginia Regional Chamber. This is technically their show because we're sitting at the leadership class for today.
And they let you and I plan the entire CLP day.
More than once.
I know.
They've let us come back year
What are
after
the odds?
year. I know. I love it because when we did this show together a couple of years ago for the first time, here's the cool thing for me. I have a studio audience. I literally have a soundbite that has CLP applause. So I'm wondering if this group can be louder and better than the group last year. Should we give them a shot?
Unless they boo us. We don't
Oh
want
yeah,
that.
if you boo us, then
You're on a list.
you're on the list. All right, so everybody say hi. And I got to admit, sometimes I listen to that when I'm having a bad day, just because it makes me feel better. When I have a particularly long day of recording, I'm like, where is that sound bite?
Click. It's the studio audience live from your kitchen.
You are a graduate of the Community Leadership
I
Program.
am. Class of 2016. We're doing our group's trying to get our class back together for a 10-year reunion.
Oh, youngins.
You did it in what, 1850?
Yeah, it was probably close to that. I was in, and we didn't talk about this at all yet during the class. So I was in the very first community leadership program for the Top of Virginia Regional Chamber. It wasn't even called the Top of Virginia Regional Chamber, I don't think, back then. But yeah, it was 28 years ago.
29. Isn't this-
Dear
isn't this
Lord.
30?
We're coming to our 30th.
Yeah, because I was class of 20.
Wow. I still have the certificate, Missy, just so you know.
Mine's on my wall.
Yes.
Andy would say it didn't deteriorate.
It had, no, I kept it
The
very well
archives
put to
from the library helped there. Yeah.
The class today is a hybrid. It's about media. So I've talked a little bit about public relations. You, of course, cover the nonprofit section of it. You've talked a little bit about nonprofits and that sort of stuff. Why do you keep coming back and doing this every year? Is it because Cynthia says you have to?
Yes, but no, CLP was great. When I first moved back after being gone for 10 years, I saw it in the paper, signed up, and got so much out of it. Also, our class, it's a special group. You get to form bonds and work with your classmates. Kim, who's on our team at United Way, was in my class. Matt Peterson, John Huddy, some people that I work with on a daily basis, we all met in CLP. So it's just a way to give back, and it's my one board committee, so it's kind of nice to check that box and help out. And working with Missy's been great. I know it's been a short time there, but it's been great to see a program that adapts and changes and really gives people a perspective of the full community and how much we have to offer.
We were talking earlier about public relations and the ability for businesses and nonprofits to be able to speak to their mission and their vision and why their particular business or their outlook is important and how to communicate that to the public. So as we've done in years past, we're pulling victims right out of the wonderful audience that you heard earlier. So tell me your name and who do you represent? What company or nonprofit do you represent?
My name is Pam Hafner, and I represent the Yellow Schoolhouse. I founded it in 2018. It used to be in Loudoun County, and we brought it here to Winchester in 2021.
Tell me a little bit about the Yellow Schoolhouse. What is it exactly?
So we serve families with children 5 and under, and our focus is to bring connection and education to parents so that they're not parenting alone. So every family has connection, and every child has a chance to thrive.
How do you support yourself?
Beg and plead.
The
nonprofit way, right?
We are 100% a volunteer board. We have no employees. We're small. So it's community connection on our part to say what our mission is and would you support us?
What attracted you about the community leadership program that made you want to sign up and then spend a Friday a month here for 9 months?
I'm new in Winchester, came in 2021 during COVID, and I knew nobody. Started making connections. Andy here is one of the first people I met. When
We had
were
pizza.
here.
And she stayed.
I know, right?
So I wanted to do it for a number of reasons. One, for selfish reasons, for personal reasons, to find more connection myself with great people and great companies and programs. And also for the nonprofit to bring those kind of connections. But also to learn what is this community about. Quite frankly, Winchester is the best place I've ever lived. And I say that because of the connections. Like, people really want to get to know other people. Whenever I call up and say, hey, can we have lunch and just chat about what you do? It's always a yes.
And that's the beauty, I think, of chamber membership overall, is the fact that you have access to those people to make those connections. The leadership program just pulls a group of you together to create this cohort, but you still can do that with people that you've met outside of the leadership program.
Oh, absolutely. I'm always just calling people up and saying, let's have coffee.
What has been your favorite class so far? You've only had a couple, right?
Right. I'm going to give a plug to Carmos. I freaking loved that too.
And the tours are important. This gives you really a bird's eye view of what kind of industry we have in our community, educational opportunities. Today we're talking again about nonprofit and media, but it really does give you that peek into all of the things that keep our city running. Thank you for being my first victim and coming up on the stage today.
Thank you for having me.
Tell me who you are and what organization or agency that you represent.
So I am Chris Brigante, and I am the Executive Director of Family Promise Winchester area. We are a nonprofit. We are part of actually a nationwide network, a Family Promise network, and what we do is we work hard with local families who are either currently experiencing homelessness or at risk of losing their home, and we try to get them into stable housing, which is secure and safe, which they can afford for the long term. So we offer things like case management, as well as financial assistance to help with that first month's rent, security deposit. We have a lot of community partners, so we can make sure that they can overcome the barriers that are keeping them from stable housing, such as mental health issues or financial coaching, things like that. We have had a lot of great success here, and we're very excited. All the families we work with have minor children or are pregnant, and so every family we help is a child who has a stable place to live.
It's incredibly important to our community because there are no family-based shelters in our area.
That is absolutely the case. Outside of like domestic abuse shelters locally, there's no other shelter that's able to take in children because there is just an entirely different set of needs for a shelter with children. And so that has been a big issue in the local community, is that lack, and that is something we are working to solve ourselves. Family Promise at its core is a shelter program, and so that is what we are working with. Currently, this year is our big growth for family shelter in the community. We've launched a test program right now, and we're hoping to expand on that and start really moving forward and helping these families out.
What do you think is the biggest misconception out in the community about the work that you do?
I think the biggest misconception is people think that the families we're working with who are homeless are just sitting back, not working, maybe they're living off public benefits. But I can tell you, almost every family we work with, they are working hard. They have income coming in. And the ones that don't are looking for employment. We're trying to get them into that. So these are really, really hardworking people, but any one of us can end up in their situation. If you are the breadwinner and you're paid hourly and you get sick and you're in the hospital for a month, that is an entire month's income, which is more than enough to all of a sudden you've lost your apartment. Maybe you've lost your job at this point. Your family's now in a hotel where they're paying $500 a week just to stay there. It can happen to any of us.
Andy, we've talked in previous conversations, United Way related, about the cost of housing. Affordable housing in this area is a huge factor in what Family Promise tries to do as well, because it's not easy to find a place that you can afford, much less afford when you're in the middle of a financial crisis.
Yeah, it's that. It's even looking at home ownership. To own a home in Winchester, you have to have a combined income over $150,000, and it just does not equate locally. I mean, there's jobs, they're just not paying at that level. And it's a thing I know that we're looking at, a lot of other nonprofits are looking at, and really the community is starting to rally around and look at options for affordable, accessible housing.
That really is a big issue. There is something that we look at a lot called the housing wage, where they look at an individual community and what would a person have to make in order to afford a 2-bedroom apartment on their wages. For Winchester, that housing wage is about $29 an hour. Wow. Which is much more than most local businesses pay. And so these families are just really struggling with, they can have everything right, but finding them somewhere they can afford long term is always our biggest struggle.
As a nonprofit, why sign up for a leadership program like this?
So I am new to being an executive director of a nonprofit. I was a public defender in a former life. And so this is a little bit of a different...
Just a little bit.
A little bit. It is a little less stressful, I'll give it that.
Wow.
There's plenty of stress still. But I really wanted to get to know the community and build those connections. A large part of what we do is we have a community-based response. So we work with countless other agencies, partner organizations, and other nonprofits so that we can spread the load. We can't do everything ourselves, but what we can do is get people to where they need to be to address those obstacles that are keeping them from housing. And so this program was important to me because it provides that network. It lets us know more about what's going on in the local community so I can be a better leader of the program, and more importantly, so we can help more local families.
Is there a particular class that you're most looking forward to, or have you been through it already?
I will tell you my favorite class is we did an agriculture class, and we did a tour of a bunch of farms. I did not know what to expect, but it was actually super fun. I had the best day.
There were a lot of people last year that took the ag tours and were really impressed with that. Maybe we should switch, Andy, and follow along on those next year.
I think we just go observe and record a podcast. I don't think you and I should plant anything ag because...
Oh, it'll die. I kill a plastic plant.
Yeah.
That's not going to help a farm anywhere
No,
near
those
here.
are all mine are all Legos in the office. So yeah, we'll just go visit.
How can people find you to help?
For any more information, whether you're looking for services or you just want to help us out somehow, please visit us at familypromisewinchester.org.
Thank you for taking the time.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
We are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to hear the rest of our conversations from the Top of Virginia Regional Chamber's Community Leadership Program. Hang in there just a couple of more minutes.
This Tuesday, April Davis will change the world. She doesn't know that yet. All she knows is that she went to justserve.org and volunteered an hour of her time. Browsing through dozens of service opportunities in her community, April decided to spend her Tuesday evening serving dinner to mothers and their children at a transitional house. She doesn't know she'll be serving a particular mother and daughter who will be spending their first night in this home. April doesn't know that the hot meal she'll serve is the first this mother and daughter will have had in a week, or that the simple smile she'll offer as she serves them will help them realize that things are going to be all right. Which is why this Tuesday, April Davis will change the world. See the difference you can make. Sign up for service opportunities in your community. Visit justserve.org.
Welcome back to the Valley today. I am your host, Janet Michael. Now, as you're listening to this on the radio or on the podcast, about a week and a half has passed since you heard the first segment of this show. I am now on the Zooms with Missy Spielman. She is Director of Programs and Events for the Top of Virginia Regional Chamber. Missy, we recorded a bunch of the interviews and the conversations with people that were taking the class at the class a couple of Fridays ago, but I thought it would be good to have you give some context for people. We heard a lot from them about why they took the class and what they're learning from it. And a lot of that speaks to why this class has been so successful for nearly 30 years.
Yeah, we are approaching, I'm glad you mentioned that, Janet. We are approaching the 30th year for the Chamber Leadership Program. So obviously it has some traction and it's showing some relevance to local professionals in our area. So our purpose is really to help these individuals foster their leadership potential in the community so that we can just continue to grow and develop in our region. There's a lot involved with a community that sometimes we take for granted, right? There are a lot of gears moving to keep things running, and sometimes they're running pretty seamlessly. And with that in mind, we don't even recognize the scope of what is taking place within our community. So this Chamber Leadership Program is going to give these professionals an opportunity to just see those facets of the community, whether it's government and economic development, whether it's education and the structures that support that, healthcare, public safety, all those things that are important and vital are what they're going to get to see and hopefully start to identify their role in connecting or serving or leading to help our community be successful.
The thing that I have always appreciated about this program, and it's one of the things that I enjoyed the most when I went through it, is the hands-on portion of it. It's not sitting in a room or a classroom and just listening to people talk. They're going to these places. They're talking to these people. They're getting tours. They're getting to see hands-on, up close, how things work behind the scenes in our community.
Yes, we try to have as many on-site tours and opportunities for our class participants as possible. The session that you mentioned, we did media, and then we also learned a little bit about some of our nonprofit. And in that session, we tried to start helping our participants become more familiar with nonprofits. And they're actually going to select a nonprofit, research, report back, and complete a service project. So again, we want to be hands-on. My background was education, and learning is not a spectator sport. So the more that we can involve our participants, I think the better, and the more everyone will benefit. We also did a little mock parliamentary procedure leadership opportunity because some of our participants may find themselves serving on one of those nonprofit boards one day. So it's all about how can we continue to grow, continue to serve, and yes, as many hands-on opportunities. And that's an area where I want to continue to grow. Going back and looking at our session objectives, how can we continue to even make it more hands-on as time continues?
And you always have a really good mix of participants. I talked to a fair amount of the nonprofits for the show today, but there were a lot of businesses in that room, business owners, managers of businesses. You really need that mix in order to make it be effective for the class and for the community to benefit overall.
Absolutely. And it's really interesting to see what partnerships develop between the classmates and what camaraderie develops between them. And having someone in there who maybe has certain industry information that their classmate wasn't aware of, just this very organic dialogue and relationship comes from that. So they're able to maybe connect on a new level. So it is really great. The other thing I think is really unique is that when we get business leaders who might be new to the area, so we may very well have someone who, for instance, in this class, who moved from Ohio about a year ago. So this is an opportunity for them to build that local base, to connect with other local professionals, but to also learn about our area while they're at it. So having that mix of maybe people who have been here their entire life versus people who have just relocated, as well as from all different sectors of business and industry, I think makes it a stronger cohort.
I remember when Andy and I were sitting there before the class got started, and I was looking around at everybody, and I had already looked through the directory of participants that you had sent me beforehand. And I looked at Andy and I said, 3-4 years ago, I knew 80% of the people that were in these classes. And as these last several years have gone by, I know less and less of these people, but it's great for me because they're going to be our future leaders. So being able to interact with them and know who this person is or that person is, I think was a huge benefit for me as a facilitator and as a speaker.
And for me, of course, I'm aging and dating myself here, but seeing out in that audience of participants, individuals that I taught or that I worked with in education, and they are becoming that up and coming group of leaders. And so it is really exciting to see that. And I really look forward to the feedback from them. How can we continue to keep them involved and engaged and wanting to pursue this type of opportunity? Because it really is eye-opening. Most participants, as I look back at feedback, you see things like, I had no idea. I did not know the scope of this. I learned so much. So it really is eye-opening. So we want to continue to engage those rising business leaders and keep them participating in the program, because I do really think it's a win-win. I think it benefits them in their professional careers. I think it benefits our community in the long run, because they might step up in some sort of way unbeknownst to them. Our CEO, Cynthia, likes to tell the story of someone who decided to run for school board after their participation. So it's a win-win for them as well as potentially for our community.
The classes are one Friday a month. It's a 9-month long program. When did it start?
The program runs September through May. Participants are submitting their applications. So for example, in May of this year, we'll have our class of 2027, our 30-year anniversary class. We will have them submit their applications in May. So if anyone is interested, just so you know, that will probably come out in April. You'll be submitting an application to apply to be a participant in May, and then they'll start rolling with that program in September. And again, like you said, we go September through May with a different focus each month.
Thank you for giving me and everyone listening today a little bit of background. Should we play the rest of the conversations?
Absolutely. Let's hear from some of our other class participants and nonprofit leaders.
So tell me who you are and what organization you represent.
Hi, I'm Grace Vaughn. I represent Girls on the Run of the Shenandoah Valley. I have been the program manager there for about 1.5 years, so I still feel relatively new. I know I'm especially new to the nonprofit world, but I'm happy to be here today and share a little more about that with you.
I have recently been seeing on television commercials, public service announcements for Girls on the Run in general. Give me a little history and background for how it works here in the Valley.
Sure. Girls on the Run of the Shenandoah Valley spans 13 counties and 2 major cities. The 2 major cities are Harrisonburg and Winchester. We are all the way up to Clark County, all the way down to Elkton, and we're also over in the West Virginia Panhandle.
Wow.
Yeah, covering.
They have more territory than we do.
They do. That's crazy.
They can keep it.
I got a lot of space on my hands.
And what does it mean, Girls on the Run?
The first thing I like to say is we're much more than a running program. Girls on the Run is an after-school program for girls grades 3 through 8. They'll meet twice a week for 90 minutes with coaches who are completely volunteer-based. We train and prep them, and the girls will learn 20 lessons over a 10-week period. They learn things like empathy, how to be good friends, choose good friends, how to make healthy choices, how to set goals, how to achieve them, speaking kindly to themselves and others, all those really, really essential skills that they need to and want to learn at that age.
It is so cool that you do that from a social perspective, because when I was growing up, we didn't have phones. We didn't have the iPhones. We had to take the phone and walk around the house with the long cord and that sort of stuff. But so many of our kids these days, girls in particular, are growing up in the social media world where they're not necessarily learning how to connect with each other on a face-to-face level. There's a lot of bullying. There's a lot of things going on out there. So this is a really great program to counteract all of that.
Yeah, absolutely agree. There's actually a study out there, 1 in every 3 girls is bullied, picked on, made fun of, struggles with that. And I think there was a study in 2021 that 57% of girls felt persistently sad or hopeless. And that actually ended up being double that of boys that year. So,
wow.
Yeah, in this age of media, supporting these girls, it means everything.
Okay, so I have to be honest. I don't run to my car in a thunderstorm. How can I support you? What can I do to help?
First and foremost, just word of mouth, letting people know that this program is out there, getting the girls to come and be a part of this program. We're always looking for volunteers. You don't have to run to be a volunteer. You don't even have to run to be a coach. There's a lot of need for our coaches to be there and be mentors and instruct them through these lessons. You don't necessarily have to run. The girls may ask you to, but if you're not able to or you just don't run, there are lots of ways to help these girls out without running. We also require about 250 volunteers at our end of season 5K.
Wow.
Which we have twice a year. We have a fall season and a spring season. Our next 5K is going to be April 18th, and we will definitely need volunteers for that. So.
What has been your biggest takeaway from the leadership program so far?
Oh my gosh, connection. Getting connected, seeing what's out there, and learning to open my eyes and look and see who all is out there. I have met so many people in so many organizations that I didn't know were there, and the power of connection has been really impactful.
Where can people get more information about your organization?
Yeah, you can visit our website at girlsontherunsv.org, or you can give us a call at 540-431-5320.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tell me who you are and what organization or business you represent.
So my name is Eric Rollins, and I work with Timber Ridge School, and I'm excited about this opportunity because this year we are celebrating 55 years of being in existence in this area. So
that is crazy.
Absolutely.
There have been other people from Timber Ridge that have gone through this program, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct. Our Chief Development Officer, Julie Farrell, I think she was class.
It was a couple of years ago, and
yeah.
She sat on this stage, and I made her do the same thing that you were about to do.
I was nominated by one of my classmates. That's why I'm up here today as well.
So tell me a little bit about Timber Ridge. What do you guys do?
So we work with adolescent boys, ages 11 through 17. Again, being in operation for 55 years is great, and we have stayed true to the mission. We have not went outside of working with adolescent males, and we're expanding our horizon for reaching out not just in this area, but in other cities and other states as well.
Is there a misconception amongst the community about who you serve and what you do at Timber Ridge School?
Most people think we just deal with bad boys, but that's not the case. There are bad situations, but I don't believe there's bad people. We have amazing staff that work with our kids to help them get reacclimated with not only their family, but with their communities as well.
How long have you been there?
I've been there for 3 years, and actually 3.5. Still fairly new, but certainly loving what I'm doing so far.
Have you been able to see someone graduate from the program?
Oh, several students. We just had about 4 students this week complete their program. So we do have an official graduation because we have both residential and academic students. Our biggest time of graduation is in June and then in December, but throughout the year, depending on their program and any other type of situation that's very unique to the student, they can graduate early.
Why sign up for the community leadership program? Why was this important for you to participate in?
So in 2020, I completed the Leadership Washington County course, and I loved it. I had amazing individuals that are now lifelong friends. And with me working in Virginia, I wanted to expand my network, and here I am.
What have you learned so far?
I love it. I love this area and getting acclimated with the different individuals, learning the city, learning the community. It's been great.
Are you looking forward to any particular class coming up? Because you've still got several months ahead of you.
The education class has been my favorite so far, and I think that's because education is near to my heart. I did my undergrad in early childhood education, hence the reason I'm at Timber Ridge. Even though I'm not working directly with the kids, I'm still in a school setting.
Thank you for being being a guest.
All the above, thank you.
Well, that's it for us today. Thank you for coming along on the Community Leadership Program journey. Before I sign off, though, I want to let everyone know that with all the crazy snow that we got over the weekend, yes, I know, my whole intent of having Ken Slack from VDOT on the show last week did not go according to plan. We got the snow and the ice anyway. But I also talked about 2 other events last week. One was Winchester Co-op Market is hosting author John Steinman to speak at Winchester Brew Works. That is still happening tonight if you're listening on the radio today on Wednesday afternoon. So the John Steinman author event with Winchester Co-op Market is still happening tonight from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at Winchester Brew Works. You can do a quick search on Facebook for Winchester Co-op Market and find the Eventbrite link so that you can RSVP for that. It is a free event, but they still would like to know how many people are coming. And then the other great news actually is that because of the weather, Wendy from Fredco Eats Restaurant Week has extended Restaurant Week. So it is now going to run through February 8th. So that gives everybody plenty of time to dig out and work up an appetite as they're digging out and go check out some of the local restaurants. I will put links to both of those events in the show notes at thevalleytodaypodcast.com so you can go and click right through and get the menu and do all of the things for Fredco Eats as well as Winchester Co-op Market's event. Stay safe, stay warm, and I will be back tomorrow with a brand new episode of The Valley Today, just a few minutes after noon.